Once WEP started to be cracked quite easily, quite readily, in just a few minutes' time, we knew we had to do something very, very fast. And so IEEE 802.11i was instituted. This working group was to come up with a better system. So what they did was, first of all, they couldn't leave the RC4 encryption scheme because systems just didn't have anything better at the time. What they wanted to do was to upgrade to AES encryption, which you may remember is the government standard encryption scheme. But most of the systems out on the market just didn't have it yet. Windows XP was a prime example of that. Windows XP did not have AES encryption built in. And so they had to stick with RC4. So since they're stuck with RC4 and now you've got that key, how do you make it any better? Well, the answer is you make it better with the IV. You change the way that the IV is used. Rather than sending it in plain text, you now integrate it with the encryption key. And this is called, by the way, TKIP, or Temporal Key Encryption, or Temporal Key Integrity Protocol. It's a stopgap measure, and sometimes WPA is just called the TKIP as an alternate version. In other words, it can be called WPA or TKIP. This temporal key, what it does is no more plain text, first of all. The IV is incorporated into the encryption key and then sent across the network. One other thing that it did is it added authentication. So no longer did you have that given set of characters. You could now come up with your own key, a pre-shared key that you could type into the router and type into your computer and use, and that key was the one that was encrypted then and used along with the encrypted IV in order to log on to the system. This was indeed a stopgap measure. It was not ever intended to be the solution, but we had to wait for technology to catch up with us, which happened then later on with WPA2, which we'll get to in the next video.